All right, Unique Mecca Audio here, man. Today is the 19th. Today is my 3-year anniversary from being home, so I'm going to give you all a little flashback on how it all played out so you understand. All right? Now, I gave you the other day about, what it was like being released, but this was right before it. I like to bounce around and do my own thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do it my way. Now, another stabbing happened. I'm in Atwater, Victorville, California. Another stabbing happened. Now, this one was brutal, brutal. We're in the law library, and dudes in the law library, and everybody go down there on Sundays to place their tickets. The ticket men, the runners, they all down there collecting their tickets, and they're doing everything other than looking at a damn law book. You know what I mean? But, I go down there for the law books and the law computers. Me and my man Amir. Big shout out to Amir again. All right? Big shout out to Amir. Big shout out to Amir. So now, me and Amir down in the law library, and dudes down there placing their tickets, and the dude must have hit a ticket for the night before. The night before he hit the ticket, he get mad because he didn't get his money. Normally they send the money over the same night you hit the ticket, but we in what they call a split yard. I got to explain to y'all what a split yard is. A split yard is where you got two sides to the jail, like an east side and a west side, you know what I mean? Or a north side and the east side, or whatever, however you want to call it. So that's a split yard. The north side go to rec or to eat just with the north side and vice versa. So it's hard to see the people from the other side unless somebody's in the yard that, let's say the east side is in the yard and the west side is in the law library or the indoor recreation. They got to walk up the walkway by the yard, and then they get to holler at the people from the other side, from the east side. And that's where they pass the notes. They say, tell my man I said this. If you want to holler at somebody, you come to the yard from the east side, and you catch your people walking up the west side. You see the crap we got to go through in order to see our friends? Come on, man. If you youngins want to go through that, go on to prison. And they're going to limit how and when you see your so-called road dog. All right? So now, we in the law library, and dude hit the ticket. He didn't get his money yesterday, so he go to breakfast. First, he go to yard early, to try and catch the breakfast people from the other side so they could hand him the money through the gate. They didn't hand him his money through the gate. Nobody came out. So now he pissed off, because he didn't get it the night before, and he didn't get it at breakfast. So now they switch, and they call the other side to the yard, and they call my side, where the dude that won the ticket is on my side, to go to the inside rec and the inside law library. Y'all been in the prison, know about these split yards. So now he go out there expecting to see the dude out there. Dude ain't out there. So a couple of people come in, sneak in, that was like the orderlies and all that from the other side to mix in with our side, and they still don't bring his ticket. But then now here go one of the ticket men that's the runner for the ticket that my man hit. So he pushed up on him and said, yo, dude ain't sent my the envelope with my winning stamps in it? Yeah, stamps. Remember I told y'all before, this is penitentiary currency, stamps. You know what I mean? So he expected to get about 20 books, so that's like $100. So now he expecting to get his little $100 and nobody brings his stamp. So he asked the dude, Joe, where my envelope at? And dude said, man, I don't know nothing about it. We paid out everybody that won. He said, nah, but I won last night. He said, man, I'm telling you, everybody got paid. My man pays everybody the same night, da-da-da-da. And my man don't make no mistakes. And he's going through all this. So while he's telling them how official his man runs the ticket that he worked for, the dude that lost the ticket said, so you telling me that everybody got paid and I didn't get paid? He said, you ain't get paid because you ain't win. So he shows him the ticket. He said, man, I won. He said, nah, you ain't win. He said, well, you must have did something with the ticket after the game was over or something why you didn't get paid. Dude said, what? So you telling me you gonna rob me for my little $100? He said, nah, dog, we ain't gonna play that. So they wait till they get ready to go. Me and my man, we sitting down and we watching it. We know how it's getting ready to unfold because this is regular penitentiary stuff. So they call the move. So right when they call the move and we get ready to leave, the dude that hit the ticket, he pull out a knife, you know what I mean? A knife like this big, man. He pull out a knife like this big and this thick. And he went to sticking this so far up this dude, man, he hit him all in his chest, his neck, his face. I mean, blood everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, it's blood and teeth everywhere. I mean, he's punishing this dude. But he's the one was speaking for the dude that run the ticket. See, the ticket man is like the kingpin. He hides out and let everybody else, handle their business. But my man shouldn't have spoke for the kingpin talking about everybody got paid. So he said, if being that you speaking for him and you telling me I ain't getting paid, that means that's equivalent to you robbing me like he robbing me. So the dude went and put the knife in him. He punished him so damn bad, man. I mean, dude laid there on the stretcher. Even the people that worked in the law library, the police, they scared to even, look at it. They turning their head, you know what I mean? And they finally hit the deuces. That's the little walkie-talkie button. So they hit the deuces. And when they hit the deuces, all the police come running down there. When they come running down there, dude's still stabbing him. He on top of him. He's stabbing him. He's stabbing him. He's stabbing him. You know what I mean? This like, let me see exactly. This is like maybe January 30th, 2020, because my daughter's birthday was the 31st. You know what I mean? It was like a day or so before, after, because the visit didn't fall on my daughter's birthday. So my daughter, Deasia, big shout out to Deasia. Big shout out to Deasia. Big shout out to my princess Deasia. Just so you understand how this play out. My baby Deasia, she live in South Carolina. So now all this jump off. I'm gonna get back to why I'm telling you about Deasia. Like I said, I like to tell my story how I want to tell it. So just sit back and let me ride. All right, let me ride. So now, before I gotta cock the joint on you, all right? So now, we sitting there and we go back to the unit and they lock us down because it was a bloodbath. You know what I mean? So they lock us down and we in the cell. And I said, man, I know we're gonna be down at least 2 weeks. Luckily, I went and got me some food and I got all the cases I needed, copy off the computer, so I could just finish my emotion and what I'm doing here, from in the cell. So we up in the joint and it's Sunday and Sunday's visiting day. They do the count, and then right before the count is over, they come to my cell and they say, Unique, you got a visit. I said, a visit? He said, yeah, I'm all the way in Victorville, California. If somebody coming from New York, or from the East Coast, I always know ahead of time. So they said, you got a visit? I said, man, I ain't got no lawyer out here. You know what I mean? I'm fighting my joint myself, and Brittany Barnett. Big shout out to Brittany Barnett and Corey Jacobs from Buried Alive. Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. Big shout out to Brittany Barnett and Corey Jacobs. Now, those are the ones was doing my case, and they're all the way in Texas. They're not going to come without letting me know so I could be ready, suited, and booted so a nigga don't come out there looking, too penitentiary gangster. All right? So they said visits. I said, all right, I go up there, and the one female I know from out there, me and her wasn't really talking. I ain't see her in about 2 years. So I ain't see her since I even been in that jail, So I'm like, man, so I go out there, it's just something to get out the cell anyway. They probably got somebody with my last name mixed up or something. But I go for the walk. I get dressed and I go out there. And when I walk out there to visit, my daughter is sitting there. My daughter is sitting there. So I'm looking, I said, oh, man. So I roll up, I said, what happened, baby? I give her a hug. She give me a big hug. She said, no, it's my birthday. I wanted to spend my birthday with you. Now tell me that ain't special. My baby flew all the way from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to come spend her birthday with an old man that's been in prison 26 years. Come on, man. You can't imagine how special I felt. But anyway, so now my baby's sitting there. She tell me she there with a friend. She can't stay but till 2 o'clock because the friend going to pick her back up from the prison, this and that. So while we kicking it, she calls me Rasta Man. Because she remember my dreads, But, I cut my dreads because my moms remember, back in the day when, Rastas was real radical. You know what I mean? Where they looked at Rastas as the worst of the island. So in order to see my mom, she said, I got to cut my dreads in order for her to see me because she don't want to see me back in that mentality. She want to know that her baby has grown into the man that he is today. Cool. So now I cut the dreads, but she still called me Rasta Man, my daughter, Deasia. So I'm out on a visit, and me and her talking, and she's like, yeah, Rasta Man, I want to go to Jamaica, but I don't want to go until you come home, or to go with you. But I don't want to go to Jamaica for the first time, while you still in there. So I say, yeah, but, who knows, man? I'm fighting this thing, baby. I've been going damn near 3 decades. Just enjoy your life and do what you got to do. Go on to Jamaica. You want to see your roots. I contact, peoples I know down there so you go see the peoples and da-da-da-da. And she's like, nah, Daddy, you get ready to come home because I'm ready to go to Jamaica. You know, I said, oh, I'm getting ready to come home. And I'm smiling just like this. I said, oh, I'm getting ready to come home. And she said, yeah, you get ready to come home. I said, oh, okay. So she said, I'm telling you, you getting ready to come home. I said, yeah, I got a motion in the court now. So, you know, let's just pray on. She said, Daddy, I'm telling you, man, this year, you getting ready to come home. You know, like I said, this was the end of January 2020, you know. So we out there talking, and she goes back, you know, to leave. And when she leaves, you know, I go back in the unit, and I got a single cell, so I'm laying down, and I'm thinking about my baby, and I'm thinking about my other children, and, you know, my moms, and, you know, my close friends, and I'm like, damn, I've been telling them I'll be home soon so long that soon turned into almost 3 decades, 2.5 decades is how long I've been telling them I'll be home soon because I got a motion in, 100 motions, you know what I mean, 100 denials. You know what I mean? Big shout out to the judge that denied my motion. Big shout out to the judge that denied my motion. You know what I mean? Big shout out. Calm down, check it out. The judge that denied my motion 100 times. You know what I mean? I swore to God this man had something personal against me. Because it was all in the law book saying that my case was overturned. He even responding back. I mean, the prosecutor responding back and the judge, you should be released. However, there's no vehicle to release you. So if you know I should be released, just release me, school the vehicle, and you make a vehicle. You know what I mean? This is how I'm thinking. But they denied me after they telling me all that, get a nigga hopes up, but enough hope to push forward and keep the faith alive and know that God gonna get me there. You know? So I remember I talked to my moms right before the lockdown on that Saturday night, and she even told me, said, baby, this your year. You get ready to come home. I feel it. She said she been holding my picture in the mirror. You know what I mean? My mom said she hold my picture in the mirror like this. You know what I mean? And she say her prayer to God to bring her baby home, and she been doing it for 2.5 decades. So if you youngins want to put your mama through that, you go ahead. You know what I mean? But my mom's holding the picture in the mirror praying for me to come home for 2.5 decades. And every Sunday when I talk to her, that's all she telling me about. Where it just became the same as, you know how you sucker for love ass niggas would go tell a female, I love you, dog. You know what I mean? No, you don't love nothing but your damn self and the feeling the female giving you. But yet you still telling her, I love you, dog. You don't, come on, man. How many homies hear your homies tell you, I love you, dog? You know? And you know, it just becomes a ritual like, you know, like good morning. You know, somebody tell you good morning, you know they don't care how your morning is, but it's just something to do when they see you, because everybody tell you whenever you see somebody in the morning, you say good morning. If you call somebody, you text somebody, you say good morning. But you don't mean it, you don't think about it, you just do it because it becomes natural. So that's what Mom telling me, you know, I'm praying for you, baby, you get ready to come home. You know what I mean? And I know I'm not coming home until God ready for me to go home. So I prayed to God every night, like I said, you know, I gave you all the prayer and all the joint where, you know, I lay on my bed and I look up at my top bunk where I got my kids' pictures taped to the top bunk, you know. And, you know, I said, pray to God, God, I need you right now more than ever, man. You know what I mean? I'm tired, God. You know, but I know you're not going to release me until you feel it's time. But when you feel it's time, I'm ready. Until then, I'm going to keep the faith in you. And, you know, I understand what went on with Job, and I feel like I'm Job of today because you don't strip me of everything. They're not you, the government have stripped me of everything. The courts have stripped me of everything, but they didn't strip me from my faith in you, you know? So I know when you're ready, you're going to give it to me, you know? So, you know, that's how I lived for, you know, 20-something years and kept doing what I was doing. Even though I was screwing up in between there and all that, it took me over a decade to stop all the crap and get my life together. But now, this is what happened. I'm laying down in the cell. You know, my daughter done left. We were locked down for about, you know, 2-3 weeks. You know what I mean? So about 2 weeks. So now, here it is, the middle of February. So I talked to my daughter, and my daughter said, yeah, you know, DeHazer said, Rasta man, pack your bags, you get ready to leave. This was about Valentine's Day I talked to her, 2020. She said, Rasta man, you get ready to leave, pack your bags. And I started laughing. I said, yeah, baby, my bag's ready. Whenever they ready, I got 500 books of stamps, you know what I mean? I'm gonna, you know, I'm mailing all that stuff out, and I'm talking about what I'm going to do. And I'm just having a conversation with her because she was in a good mood. But, you know, I just know it might be another 2.5 decades. It might take me 50 years to get out of here, because the last thing I'm going to do to get out is tell on another man, to bring another man into the misery that I wound up putting myself in for my choices and me slipping and getting caught. You know what I mean? So you youngins pay attention to what I'm saying. You go out there, you do what you do, you get caught, you know to shut the F up. I got the new merchandise that my man Al Ra gave me, you know what I mean? I got the Man Time bucket hats. I should have wore one today. I'm gonna do another video for tomorrow. I have to put on the Man Time bucket hat and the new shut the F up shirts. You know what I mean? But you know, that's the rules. You know what I mean? People try and change the rules, play with the rules, and act like there is no rule, and try to manipulate the rules to make it fit how they want to fit when they feel they need to tell. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is. But, you know, bottom line is you won't want nobody telling on you they got caught. So you know you ain't supposed to tell on nobody when, you know what I mean, when you get caught. So let's stop the games, you know. So y'all understand. Y'all ain't that stupid, even though a lot of people like to try it. But what if this happened? What if that happened? Under no circumstance you tell. Like I said, my lovely mother upstairs. She turned 88 this year. Dude ran up, did a house invasion, tied her up, pistol whipped in the whole nine. And, you know, mom just told me to come on down there after she done got the ropes unloose and they got away with whatever they got away with. And, you know, when I got down there, she told me, she said, well, you know, baby, you know, just be careful. You know what I mean? She didn't say, baby, I'm going to call the police. Baby, I called the police. The police ain't got nothing to do with that. The police didn't help me get the money that got me in a situation for a dude to feel that he needed to get a quick bag from taking it from my mother. So there's no reason on earth for my mother to call the police or me to call the police because I was into that life. You understand? So if you brothers want to be into that life, just know that anything go. You know what I mean? Know that anything go. That's why I'm telling you, don't get involved. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? Because it's the mentality you got to have. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be raised with the mentality I was raised in. Like I said, I went to hug my daughter for the first time and couldn't even cry. You know what I mean? Like, you know, listen, I'm going to get back to where I'm at. You know, I like to ride and do my thing. All right? I ain't going to say no names. I might tell you a story about him later, but he's a controversial character because they wanted to label him as the first black serial killer. You know, he had like over 50 murders. You know what I mean? He's still locked up, you know, doing like 9 life sentences and, you know, 445 years. How you do 9 life sentences in 445 years? But anyway, this brother, he told me straight up when I sat down and talked to him, you know, he said, man, I'm going to give you a story about him. I got to decide if I want to tell you his name when I give you the whole rundown on him. But I'm just going to give you one of the conversations that I had with this dude that was going to be labeled one of the first black serial killers. You know what I mean? I'm talking to this brother, and I leave the room, and when I come back in the room, he's sitting down, and he got his head down. You know what I mean? And he looking, you know, sad. So you know me, everybody know me. I cheer everybody up. So I walk in there, come on, get up, homie. What you doing? Come on, man. Get up. What you doing? Come on, you looking all sad, and I'm talking trash to him. Like, come on, dog. What you doing? You know? And he said, nah, man. I'm just thinking. You know, just like that. He said, man, I was just thinking. I said, thinking about what? You know what I mean? He said, man, you know, a lot of people wouldn't understand. I said, wouldn't understand what? He said, man, you know, I don't really talk to nobody but you, and I don't know if you're ready for this one. I said, come on, dog, what is it? So he said, man, look, I was sitting here thinking, when did I become so detached from humanity? Pay attention to what I'm saying, man. The Cash App is going to be on the screen. Hit that Cash App because I'm giving y'all some jewels, man, that could save your life. You know what I mean? Because it might be able to save the young kid that was going to go out there, pull the trigger, hit you with a stray bullet, God forbid. You know what I mean? Now, or it might prevent you from going to prison. So I don't care if it's $1, $5. So look, so he said, man, I was sitting here thinking, when did I become so detached from humanity that I could go chop a man's head off, saw it off down to the bone, you know, chop off his arms and dismantle this man's whole body and dispose of it, you know? And in between that, go home and sit down, eat dinner with my baby daughter, tuck her in, kiss her good night, and then go back to clean up all the blood. Did you hear what I just said? This might go over your head, man. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why y'all don't understand that the game to be sold in this joint is Cash App worthy. Like I said, this man said, when did he become so detached from humanity that he could chop a man's head off, dismember him, chop his arms and legs off, go home, eat dinner with his baby daughter, tuck her in, give her a kiss goodnight, and go back to clean the blood up from where he just dismembered this man and chopped off his head? You see the type of mentality you got to have? Now, he's all screwed up. Just like I'm keeping it 100. I'm all screwed up. There's no way in hell I'm supposed to see my daughter after 26 years and I'm a free man. She run, grab me, and I can't cry. Come on, dog. Who wants to live like that? If that's how you want to live, keep doing what you're doing. Because when them people lock you up for 26 years, we'll see if you have the emotion to cry. You know what I mean? After you've been keeping your emotions concealed for 26 years. You know what I mean? Because you can't let another man around you see you crying. Only thing blessed me is that I was able to manipulate my way to get a single cell while I was in there so I could cry at nights when nobody's looking. If any man, I'm telling you this, if any man, and I'm going to bring some real gangsters up here because I'm getting my joint hooked up so I can interview my gangsters on here with me, and that way you hear their point of view too. If any man tell you that when he was in prison doing 2 decades that he haven't cried, he's a liar. He might not cry physical tears. He might not cry tears out of his eyeballs, but he cried emotionally. You know what I mean? Crying emotionally is holding it in. You know what it was like when they came, right? I might give y'all that one too. You know what it was like when they came and they brought me out my cell in Virginia Beach, handcuffed and shackled, and put me on a cold metal table where I'm this close, and then they laid a bunch of 8x10 pictures out on the counter of my brother, my twin, my heart, my world. In those pictures with his brains blowing out, where you could see the green brain matter. And I'm looking at this picture of my brother. And I'm handcuffed and shackled. And I got all these devils around me, meaning the government agents, you know what I mean? And they staring at me, waiting for that big breakdown of the tears and everything to come out. I'm looking at my brother, my twin, my co-defendant, my comrade, my heart, my world. I'm looking at his brains blowing out in big, beautiful colored 8x10 pictures. And I'm sitting there and I got all these white men. And I say white men because there was black ones there too, but they was just as white as the white men because they try and go harder on us to show the white man that they not one of us, that they one of them. So I call all of them crackers. No disrespect. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the government people, regular white people. I don't call them crackers, so let's not do that. I'm just keeping them 100 so y'all understand the terminology and how this thing go. So I just call all the government crackers. That's what we call them. But you know, whether they black, white, Chinese, Philippine, Mexican, whatever, they all just crackers. But anyway, so I'm looking at this picture and I got all these crackers looking at me and they waiting for an emotion. They brought it down and they was betting how long it was going to take me to break down after looking at my brother with his brains blowing out. I mean, he got shot twice, 2 or 3 times in the head. I never even stayed long at the head. So I just looked at him and told him, yo, all right, now take me back to my cell. At least you ain't got to do time in your stinking cage. Now take me back to my cell. Cash App on the screen, man. Keep it 100. You know what I mean? So now they take me back up to my cell. And as I'm walking up to that cell, that was the longest walk of my life. Trying to keep my legs moving forward with the vision of my brother's brains blowing out. And I got all these devils behind me. You know what I mean? Waiting to see an emotion. So I had to keep my shoulders back and my gangster grit on. And you know what I mean? Just keeping it 100. And none of this is to brag. None of this is to boast. So you youngins don't think none of that. You know what I mean? I ain't no gangster. I ain't no none of that. I'm just telling you how it was. This is how I was raised. And I don't want you raised like that. That's why I'm talking to you and telling you it ain't worth it. But I walked up there with the biggest gangster joint on my face, my shoulders bopping, and you know what I mean? I'm doing me, and as soon as I got in the joint and they opened the cell and put me in the cell and turned their back, I fell to my knees and cried like a baby, man. I'm on the ground crying finally. I couldn't let them see me cry. You understand what I'm saying? And one man seen me cry. And I'm going to tell you who it is so y'all can verify this story because that's how gangster I am. You know what I mean? His name is Lamont Pitt. They call him L. From Portsmouth, Virginia. Y'all in Virginia, you ask Lamont Pitt. I'm going to bring him up here for him to tell you what I look like after I went out the cell to go see, you know, them people. And I wasn't even going. Let me keep it 100. Lamont will come up here and tell you. When I got locked up in Virginia, I didn't leave my unit for nothing. You know what I mean? When they come say, oh, you got to visit. Nah, if it ain't my family member, I'm not going. You know what I mean? Or the lawyer, the government down. Now, I don't want to see no government. The chaplain. I don't need to see no chaplain because a prayer ain't going to help me right now. That's where my mind frame was at. A prayer ain't going to help me right now. You know what I mean? So I don't need to see no nothing. So they tried everything to get me out because, you know, dudes, the government used to come see people and had them call and tell them, oh, you got a this visit, you got a that visit, that they going out there, they trying to flip them. I wouldn't even go out the cell to talk to them. You know what I mean? But this day, they told me my lawyer was down there, you know? So I go down there, and that's when I see him, they bring me back up. But my man Lamont Pitt, y'all know Lamont Pitt from Chesapeake. That's where he's from, Lamont Pitt from Chesapeake. But when I come back up and I fell to my knees and started crying, it's like before I came up, I don't know, I got to ask him. I think the police might have told the unit, yo, be careful with him when he come back. Like they already knew that what they was going to do, show the pictures of my brother with his brains blowed out. Thought I was going to come back all screwy and stuff. So they told everybody that. So when I come in and, you know, like I said, I got my little gangster bop on, my shoulders bopping, and you know what I mean? So I come in the joint, and while I'm waiting on them to open the door to the unit for me to walk in, I'm standing there, and to walk from that door to my cell, that was even longer. You know what I mean? That it was about 10 feet. That 10 feet felt like 10 miles, man. Trying to make it past these men that's looking at me, you understand? And keeping a straight face because I don't want them to see me cry either. You know what I mean? So, you know me, I just hit my shoulder walk, you know what I mean? And I go in the cell. As soon as I set foot in the cell, I fell to my knees, man. And I started crying. And this brother Lamont Pitt, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm giving names on this one, you know what I mean? And I'm going to interview him so he can tell you about how I really carried it down there. Lamont Pitt, you know, walked by, and he's scared to death, but he saw me on the ground crying, you know, like on the bed crying, half on the bed kneeling down. And, you know, I didn't even make it in the bed. I was so weak, man, because it took everything in me to, you know what I mean, to make that walk. So he said, you all right? You know? And when I turned around and looked at him, I couldn't even see him. It was so much tears in my eyes. And that man came in there and gave me a hug, man. And I know you just heard my voice break because I'm just thinking about it. These are the things that I got to conceal, man. So these are the things I'm telling you youngins, don't get involved in the street, man. It ain't worth it. This man came in and gave me a hug and said, man, it's going to be all right. Said it's going to be all right. You know what I mean? And I ain't want to hear none of that crap. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, I'm going to keep it 100. Lamont, I wanted to stab the shit out you. You know what I mean? Yo, big shout out to Lamont. Big shout out to Lamont. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Lamont. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you why. I'm dead serious. Like I said, I don't play no game. I wanted to stab him dead in his face for that. You know what I mean? Just to show you where my mentality is. And I know you youngins ain't trying to get twisted like my mentality was. I wanted to stab this man in his face just because I didn't want him to be able to ever tell another man he seen me cry. So I wanted to take his life. That way can't be another man to live on earth to say they seen Unique weak. That's where my mentality was at. You understand what I'm saying? That's how twisted I was. I'm not trying to have y'all go through life the way I had to go through it, man. Come on, man. I'm ready to stab a dude and take his life just because he told me it's going to be all right because he saw me crying. That's how gangster this thing is, man. But y'all don't understand, man. I'm getting ready to get emotional, so I'm about to tap out, man. I don't even know how long this is, but I've been on here long enough. Y'all don't understand this, man. Gunshots. You know what I mean? Gunshots, man. Gunshots, and I'm tapping out, man. Like I said, oh, yeah. And don't forget, I started a joint for my man, Jimmy Fingers. Sign his petition. All you got to do is text in your phone to your friend or your comrade or even to yourself. Just text freejimmyfingers.com. And my man's petition will come up. I'm going to do an interview with him and show you something that I did with him. freejimmyfingers.com. You could go to Google and find it, or you could just text it to somebody. That's the link. You know what I mean? It automatically turns into it. If you text somebody, say freejimmyfingers.com, his whole petition come up. That's my comrade. He doing 300 years. He doing 3 life sentence. I don't even remember. I stopped counting. I think 6 life sentence in 300 years. You know what I mean? And he might have got it knocked down at 3. I don't know what it is. But freejimmyfingers.com. Good brother, man. He helped to make the transformation. We're now at 58. If somebody told me or saw me crying or even knew that I cried, I don't have to kill them. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm here telling y'all that, so I ain't got to kill none of y'all. You know what I mean? Because I passed that from good brothers like Jimmy Fingers, Amir, Michael Palmer, you understand what I'm saying? Antonio White, Larry Moe, you know, ER. I got good brothers, man, that supported me when I was on the inside, you know what I mean? And helped to make me into the transformation I am. But right now, we got one of the brothers that needs your help. His name is Jimmy Fingers. You can find him and sign his petition at freejimmyfingers.com. And I got the little Jimmy, the Chinese, you know, nut, my little man, you know. I got the little Jimmy story coming soon, man. But for now, sign Jimmy Fingers petition, man, and look out for my brother, man. You know what I mean? Let's get Jimmy home, man, because he helped to make me who I am, and he ready to come home, man, and help society. All right?
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located in Freeport on the Nautical Mile. Just wanted to introduce my partner, Amy.
Hi guys, how are you? And this is my sister-in-law, Diana, another partner. I just ask that you come support our minority-owned business. We serve Asian fusion, Caribbean cuisine, and we have a beautiful restaurant located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, New York. And we're asking that you come check us out and also make sure to tune in to Mecca Audio TV.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Rush. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rude men.